Hey friends! Today I want to talk a little bit about dealing with our inner critic, and this was a question that came up several weeks ago, and I was thinking about it before making this video. I don't think about my inner critic all that much anymore, and it's not because I don't have one, it's because with all the growth and healing work I've done, I've shifted my relationship to it. So it's very normal, it's very natural, it's very human for all of us to have that inner critic. That voice that is constantly beating us up, pointing out where we've done things wrong, calling us names. Like, it's that inner voice that crops up and causes us to question ourselves or what it is that we're doing. And in thinking about my own relationship to my inner critic, I started to ask, why do I feel like it's a non-factor for me? And big part of that is that I have significantly over the last several years, this year especially, raised my self-worth. And throughout the last decade, at different levels, I have really developed a deep sense of self-love, meaning no matter what, even looking at myself and noticing where I'm falling short or aspects about myself in my life or my work or how I'm showing up or my physical health or anything like that, I might notice areas that I could improve upon, that I want to improve upon, that I'm falling short of where I want to be. But I can do that with so much self-love. There's no part of it that is beating myself up or making myself wrong. And that's what's really key, is having that level of honesty with ourselves without making ourselves wrong, without being mean to ourselves or beating ourselves up as we are doing that, as we're accepting the truth about ourselves. And so it's not easy at all. Another aspect of this is really unpacking where that inner critic voice comes from. Whose voice is it really? Yes, it becomes such an ingrained, almost inherent part of our thinking and our way of engaging with the world that we don't even notice that we're doing it, that we're calling ourselves names or berating ourselves or whatever it is that we do. What our self-critic does causes doubt, questions everything. When we have really done the work to heal, we have to really dig to the root of things. And this is something that happens when we do the work on our core wounding and our subconscious programming, and we break free of our winning strategies. So we have to really understand what it is that motivates us. And all of this is locked in at a very young age when our subconscious mind is online, but our conscious mind has yet to really come into play. And so we are just wide open to anything that's sent our way. And when we can really look at and listen to those inner critic voices, what it is they say, what their tone is, and we can ask ourselves, when did I first hear that? When did I first learn that? Who is the first person that ever said that to me? It might be that we witnessed someone else saying it to themselves, but oftentimes our inner critic voice comes from other people or comes from experiences. That one time in art class where the teacher told you that you couldn't draw, or something that your mother said in passing that you took to mean something specific about you. It's like all of these inner critic voices and messages have roots that don't come from our soul, don't come from our higher self, don't come from our truth or our heart. And when we can unpack them and pull them out by the roots, then even though it's habitual as we get older to think certain thoughts and react in certain ways, it's almost like it happens in the background. So like I said, I don't resonate with the idea of an inner critic, but I do know that I have habitual thoughts that are super old, that even if they occur, I don't register them anymore. They don't mean anything. I know that they're old. I know what they come from. I know that they're not true. I have a ton of self-love. So even if I were to say, think to myself, oh, you're such a dummy, which I don't do, but if I did, it would immediately be followed with something loving towards myself or some level of understanding. And so really raising your own self-worth, really having that foundation of loving yourself and accepting yourself for who you are and understanding where those inner critic messages and voices really come from, then you're able to detach from them. And you're able to look at yourself honestly and hold yourself to that higher standard. Excuse me, without making yourself wrong, without beating yourself up in the process. So my invitation for you today, if an inner critic is something that you are really bumping up against or dealing with is to start with that foundation of self-love. For everything you notice about that inner critic, say something loving, something that feels true, something that you can really hold. This isn't about fluffy affirmations. It's about really saying something true in that moment that is loving and kind to yourself. And then second, just start to be curious. Don't make the inner critic voice wrong either. Don't make yourself worse in terms of feeling wrong and bad, but just notice, that's an interesting thought. Where did that come from? Where is the first place I heard that? Why do I believe that to be true? Why is that something that I say to myself? And just notice and bring insight and awareness to it. And those are the first 2 steps that you can take to really start to create a more loving environment in your own mind, in your own body, in your own way of being in the world. If I can answer any specific questions, please let me know, leave a comment, or shoot me a message, and I'll be back with another video soon. Bye.